Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Well, hello, somebody. Welcome. It is Inside the Trenches. I'm your host, Marlon Big Favorite. And, we're in the war room, baby. That's right. We're in the war room over here at Loyola Studios. Shouts out to the crew in here. It is the NFL Draft. I told y'all we was going to get this thing going. We're excited to get it rolling. Before we get into this show, I want to introduce my panel and also a big shout out to all of our sponsors. Well, y'all know who the GM is. That's right, CL NOLA. We got my main man, CL NOLA, in the building. Be sure to follow Chris at CL_NOLA. And Trooker DJ, the greatest DJ in this area, at least my main man, DJ Spin. DJ Spin will be with us today, giving us his thoughts on the draft. But also, we trying to keep up with these picks right here, baby. We got the board right behind us. And last but certainly not least, and he got the answer right out the gate why Jacksonville traded up. We'll get to that in a second. My homie, Calvin Smith, in the building today. Yes, indeed. So, now, this show is being put together so nicely, so you know I got to shout out the production. Shouts out to my man UP, Damian, Hannah's over there. Shouts out to my main man Wiggity West, Mr. West, in the building. And, this show doesn't go on without them and everybody else who participated in putting together today's War Room. Well, guys, the draft is here. Big ups to Small Sliders. Shouts out to Montero Motors. Big ups to Robert Wolfen Construction, along with Lamarck Ford, Crescent City, and our new sponsor on board, Health Nut System, stillbody.org. Check them out. Well, guys, we got 2 picks in. Right now, New York's on the clock. Boy, this changes a lot. The dynamic of this thing is going to be serious as the draft continues. But, CL, I think I'll start with you. So far, the draft has had a little shakeup already. Everybody knew that Cam Ward was going to be the first guy off the board. Going to Tennessee is a big need for Tennessee to bring in a quarterback that could change things around. But we had ourselves a shakeup. Jacksonville trades up, and they go snag Travis Hunter. Your thoughts on that pick?
It makes all the sense in the world to me because what's going on in Jacksonville? They're paying Trevor Lawrence $55 million a year. They're not really sure if he's still the dude. I've actually lived in Duval for a short period of time after Katrina. It's not much to do but the Jaguars. So they need an attraction, right? They need to put butts in seats. What a better attraction than a guy that could possibly go both ways. And you bringing him, if I'm not mistaken, he's from Florida. So you bring him back home, a guy that can go both ways and give all the attention back to Duval.
No doubt. Now, Spin, you and I talked about Travis Hunter a lot off air. Kelv, I'll talk to you about that as well. We always mentioned how we felt he was going to fall off the board when we just knew it was going to be Cleveland, but now they traded back. When y'all saw that happen, when you saw Kelvin, when you saw that they went with Travis Hunter, which, like we mentioned, he guessed it, your initial thoughts?
To me, man, it was just about, at the end of the day, you have to be able to make splashes. You have to make splash plays on both sides of the ball. You have somebody that the defense has to pay attention to. You have somebody that the offense has to pay attention to. So you always have to know where this guy is on the board, on the court, on the floor, wherever he's at. So when you think about it, you have a two-headed monster with the running back. So Gentry didn't make sense in that moment because you have a massive quarterback. You already have talent at receiver. You have talent at receiver. You have talent everywhere else, but at the playmaking ability. So yeah, edge made sense. Edge doesn't bring in money because it's going to bring in wins, but not money.
Right.
Well,
Travis Hunter brings in money.
He bring ching, baby. So it look like they're going to get some seats filled down there at Duval. It looks like New York have their pick in. Before the pick is announced, let's take a quick guess at it. What you think New York might do?
Oh, God.
I think they go running back.
Well, they have Spider-Man on one edge.
No, hello. I think we're going somewhere.
They can get the other book in by bringing Abdul Carter and put him on the opposite end, and maybe they could get some rush because they're not getting much pressure in the NFC East, and they need to get pressure on.
So you're thinking defensive end?
I'm thinking Abdul Carter.
So what's your thoughts, Spin? Hold on, before you talk, put the mic in front.
I think your boy messed up with let's let God go. So I think running back too. I think Dentry goes. Let's see. Wow.
Well, we got running back to back, and up looks like CL got it right. Yeah. The New York Giants goes with Abdul Carter,
and even
one of the better edge rushers in this draft.
And even to speak to these guys' thought process with Genty, I wasn't mad at that because the hearts of New Yorkers are still broken behind Saquon.
Absolutely.
Right? So I could definitely get with that program, them going with Saquon. I mean, them going with Genty at the running back position. But like I said, Abdul Carter makes all the sense. Now you have two bookends with Spider-Man on the left-hand side. And don't forget Thibodeau is still in that mix as well. So you have a facet way of getting pressure on the quarterback, knowing that Hurst doesn't stay still in the pocket, knowing that Dak doesn't stay still in the pocket. So at least New York has a chance to get after the quarterback.
Don't forget about that young kid in Washington.
Oh, well.
He ain't staying in the pocket either.
Definitely.
So
They need somebody to run him. They need somebody to spy him.
Yep.
This could be a perfect spy for Mr. Daniels.
Yeah. And you showed up in all the other areas. You have Russell Wilson, and for backup you have Jameis. So the quarterback situation for New York, they got handled. Malik Neighbors is excited about that switch up as well.
And this is a deep wide receiver draft. They can get weapons later on.
Yep.
There's only a top 5 talent-wise in this draft, and obviously they're gonna go in the top 5. We've seen it, even though we've seen a team move up to get one, but the top 5 guys are gonna go in top 5.
Well, we have New England on the clock, guys. A lot of talk throughout the week said that it makes plenty of sense for them to show up that offensive line. Right now, the first name that pops up to mind that makes sense is Will Campbell. He's sitting there in the war room as well. But, you know, they have other areas of needs. They do need a wide receiver. They can have someone to kind of increase what they have there already, some more weapons for May. We talked about the offensive line. They can also use a linebacker, edge rusher. Right. Spin, we'll come to you first. When you think about New York, is this one of those – New England, will they go get their offensive lineman, or you think that they may explore other positions?
You got to protect the quarterback. You know, that's the first object. You know, so I'm like you. I want Will Campbell from the Saints, but I'm not mad at the Patriots for, you know, making that choice. You know, my question is Will over Mabu. What's the what's the difference? What y'all take on that?
No, I feel you on that one. Well, since you asked that question, I would definitely go Will Campbell because I feel like his experience in the SEC, the how successful he was throughout the years. You look at his 3 years. Not saying Mabu didn't go against the similar talent because they both come out the SEC, but I think Will Campbell is a bit more proven than he is. What you say, Cal?
Look, I think when you start thinking about what's going to give you quality wins, you have to either, if you trust your quarterback, then you go offensive lineman. If you don't trust your quarterback, you have to go defense because otherwise you'll never get a chance to get the ball back, right? So I think you go defensive line just because I don't think you're there yet offensively.
Right.
Now, go ahead, CL.
I personally feel all of that. We're thinking about defense, and we know that the new head coach Mike Vrabel is back in New England. He's a defensive head coach. My pick originally, of course, was Will Campbell. But then I think about it. I say, you know what? What also helps a quarterback in his journey into this NFL? a running back, I would not be surprised to see Ashton Genty come off the board here at number 4.
Come on to New
There's
England.
nowhere in the world that New England thought they'd get a chance to get him.
So y'all think, so CL, you're saying that the narrative changed based off of the way this draft order flipped up. They're maybe thinking, let me get my surefire offensive lineman, but now it's, hey, I can get a running back that could give me 1,200 yards this season.
Which would help the quarterback. And that's all they want to do in New England is help the quarterback. My first initial picture was Will Campbell, but when I sit back and think about it, they could bring Pop. They could bring, like you said, a guaranteed maybe 1,200 yards to the offense. That helps Drake May. No matter who it come from, that helps. And especially if it's one guy. Now, a platoon of running backs could help him, but one guy would give you 1,100, 1,000 yards. That would help him tremendously. But how much faith do they have in that offensive line?
I was about to say, but more importantly, at the end of the day, that guy can do things on the move. He can do things in space. He has speed. He has agility. He has all his power, his undetermined power at the next level, right? So when you're talking about, hey, let's get quick pass offense, let's get dump outs, he's going to beat everybody to the edge. He's going to be able to make a second move. He's going to be able to get off that first initial contact, right? So he can stop on a dime and he can accelerate with the best of them. So why not?
Yeah, guys, this is going to be a very interesting pick. If y'all just tuning in, y'all in the war room, baby. It's Inside the Trenches. I'm your host, Marlon Big Favorite. We got Cal on set, DJ Spin, baby, and we also have CL NOLA, a.k.a. your favorite GM. But it appears that New England pick is in. They're going through some commercials right now, so we can kind of carry on about this pick. Do New England goes with a running back, a high-power running back in Gentry? Will they shore up that offensive line for their soon-to-be all-pro quarterback in Drake May? He has a lot of potential. So what will the situation be? I still have my eyes on Will Campbell. I do think that they're going to go offensive lineman in this particular situation. I'm just looking at some things right here. It looks like, just talking about the 3-year extension, just talking about some of the things that New England did.
Well, we know Belichick's philosophy was defense. And even if you think offensively, the backfield was a platoon backfield. They always tried to replace Falk. They had Bolden. They always had guys that would come in and have splashes. Yep. So maybe Vrabel's idea of running a football is one dominant guy, right? Like he had in Tennessee with the King Henry, right? So I don't know. It's all in philosophy at this point.
Well, currently their roster. Okay, they showed up at the quarterback position. They do need some more weapons offensively.
Definitely.
They could use a little edge rush.
They brought in Diggs. They brought in Diggs at wide receiver.
They did.
Yeah.
So now that maybe even more, because most of these teams they went with their immediate need in free agency, right? New Orleans gets a new system, so they bring in guys like Godchild. They bring in coaches that could run that system. So I look at all of that together. But, to you guys' point, this is, a team that could very well, have their energy shift in this conference.
Question. Who do you remember from the 2024 New England Patriots?
See, that's the whole point.
Booty got in trouble. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
Booty got in trouble. They couldn't run the football. They took too long to put Milton in. Now Milton gone. And Booty still don't have nobody on the side of.
So at the end of the day, we still have to make money.
Right.
We still have to get people excited.
Butts and seats.
Right?
Yeah.
So you either winning or you're getting prepared to make money.
Well, it looks like the pick is in. Roger Goodell is making his way to the board. Spin is getting up. He's getting to the board as well.
That's my dude, man.
Oh.
Yes, indeed. I know who you looking at rolling with.
Okay.
Bam.
There we go.
LSU, Will Campbell is off of the board. That's right.
I'm upset right now.
We knew that's what they had to do. I mean, now this shuts up all of the haters with my LSU guy that thought that, Will Campbell's arms are too short. He can't get the job done. Agility, awareness brings a lot to the table. 6'5" and just a good guy, CL.
you know, we went through this. We went through the roller coaster of the NFL draft. We went through the praise, and after so long, once the tape is over, once you praise them so much, now you have to start picking at them. Yep. They found something to pick at him. They thought that he would drop. I told y'all, don't believe it. He still goes at the 4th pick to New England. Will Campbell, congratulations.
And look, hey, he shows up with the green suit on. He knew it was money day. Hello, somebody.
Money.
Got
and
it has been. You see him pimping, baby, with the white shirt, no tie. I mean, we ain't playing today with the Louisiana boot on the jacket. Hello, somebody.
You look like he stopped at Pearl's before he went to.
Oh, he stopped. Like he got the AP.
Pearl's of Baton Rouge.
But this is what I will say, guys. This young man has been through the fire. Oh. He's went against a Jared Verse. He's went against a Will Anderson. So he is battle tested. You're Mike Vrabel. You're just getting back to New England. You're just getting back as a head coach. One issue that this team had last year was offensive production. So now that they bring in Will Campbell to set everything up, and look how happy they are in the draft room. If y'all are tuning in, y'all can see that behind us because they got their guy. I mean, he is a surefire offensive lineman. But I will say this, guys. It's a lot of teams coming up here that need offensive linemen, and we've only seen one quarterback off the board so far. Cleveland is up next. They got a couple minutes. Spin, I'll come to you first. When you think about Cleveland, which direction will they go?
Do you think Shedeur goes?
Ooh, they need a quarterback.
They get Shedeur at 5.
Yeah.
And not at 2.
So what we're looking at right now is Shedeur possibly going to Cleveland. Do we see Gentry going to Vegas?
That's what we always said. We said that.
So we're looking at the next 2 picks. Jacksonville was the team that ruffled everything up, right, by jumping to 2 to go get their guy. Like Cleveland,
yes,
you're not about to get it. You're not about to get my guy. So talk to me, CL.
I don't think Cleveland moves back without feeling like they could get their guy, right? Even
Absolutely.
though they received the extra second-round pick and future picks, I could see them definitely getting Shedeur, not knowing what the situation is with Mr. Watson, and yeah, they're gonna need they're gonna need some kind of oomph, if you will, in Cleveland. It gets cold very fast. It's not a very pleasant place to be when the weather changes. So they need a spark, and I think Shedeur could be the spark for them because it's just not looking good.
Yeah, man. You have to win right now, right? And there's some rumblings about them moving away from Deshaun Watson, right? So you had some rumblings about that over the last couple of weeks. You're kind of hearing it here and there, what the cap might be, and this and that. Right. So when there's smoke, there's fire there a little bit, right? So what do we do? You plan for the future because Deshaun has to come back, you know, and you try to make something better of that, or do you go back and say, hey, you know what? What do I do? Because you shored up your guys, right? You paid your guys.
Yeah.
You paid your defense. You have your running backs in there. Yeah. You have everything you need that's coming back. You have playmakers on defense. You have playmakers in the backfield. Right now, you need a leader. Mm-hmm. You need somebody to grab the locker room and say, hey, let's go.
I got something that's going to trip y'all out. Quarterback is a direction I do think that they need to consider, but you just spent a lot of money on Myles Garrett.
Ton.
And there is still a guy by the name of Mikael Williams just sitting there at defensive end. Do you go get your boy Carter's off the board now, so he's no longer an option for Cleveland. CL, do they go get Jackson Dart? Do they go snag up Shedeur Sanders, or they say, you know what? One thing we're going to do this year is get after the quarterback. Do you see them going defensive end?
I don't see him going defensive end just for the simple fact they moved back. This is the deepest in edge draft. They could get guys later, especially with that extra pick they got. Mm-hmm. This is a top 5 pick. They have to get a playmaker. I didn't want to say this guy's name because I wanted him to drop to the Saints. I could see them going with Tyler Warren out of Penn State, the tight end, even though the quarterback situation is not all the way sure, but a definite playmaker immediately out the gate.
Spin's getting up. That means a pick is in. And at 5.
Man, look. You
Cleveland
on the
Browns
money.
go with, did I guess
You
it?
on the money.
Wow.
on the money. Defensive line.
Oh.
Hey, you invest where
Hey.
you invest where you invest.
They went Mason Graham. I was close, huh?
Yeah, you invest
Cleveland
with-
Browns keep Browning.
You protect your investment.
Yeah, and I get it. You know what goes on in the AFC North? They run the football. You gotta stop Lamar from running that football. You have to stop. Even though they got rid of Harris, you know the Pittsburgh Steelers are gonna find somebody. They did re-sign Warner, number 30, gave him an extension.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find somebody to stop these people from running, especially when that weather turns nasty. It makes a lot of sense. He's a Michigan guy. So
Good
he's
point.
used,
That's really good.
he's used to the weather. He comes ready to play. He's looking a little light in that suit, but you know he's everything they said. And last week we said if anything, Cleveland has to make a sure pick. We said we said Monday that Mason Graham is the safest pick in this year's draft.
This is true.
Man, look, I watched this man year after year tear my Buckeyes up. So I can't, as much as I hate to say that word, but I wouldn't have. I could pick him anywhere.
Yeah.
I can take him anywhere. He would do service anywhere, and he's nasty.
But it does. It surprises me a little bit because I don't see Chubb going back to Cleveland. I think that ship has passed. He's still a free agent right now, unless they start doing, the Kareem Hunt thing to him, which is just not really a stand-up thing to do. Just move on from the gentleman. But I know I've said his name a couple of times. Yeah, I don't see Jetty passing the Raiders now.
And I'm gonna tell y'all, look,
It
it's time for the Raiders to
finally
put their
drops for the
pick in. We all know that throughout the week, you look at immediate needs. The Raiders, they went and got Geno Smith. Pete Carroll's there. Pete Carroll's going to want a nice running game.
Yeah, buddy.
This kid is one of the better runners. It's pretty obvious that they're going to go enroll with. Hey, but hold on. Do they go tight end?
Ooh.
Because Gentry is there.
Ooh.
They got Bortles. They got Bowers.
Yeah, the best tight end in the last. Yeah,
And this is another thing people don't know about Gentry. Last year, he led the FBS in receptions out the backfield.
Yeah.
So he can catch the football.
I know,
He is a dual threat. He's not just a running back.
You look what Pete Carroll's had. He's had Marshawn's before. He's had shifty backs. So, yeah, I do look at that. But I do want to go back to Cleveland's pick with Mason Graham. We knew that this team spent a lot of money on their defensive line. Now you have somebody coming from the interior that can get the job done. My big question with Cleveland, I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do with their next few picks. But no, I think CL, when you take a look at what Oakland needs versus wants, they need a high-power running back. So,
And just to speak on that Cleveland situation, remember they traded back. So they have an extra pick. If they need to come up and come get their quarterback, regardless if it's a Shador or a Dart or a Miro, whoever they deem fit, they can still do that because the Jacksonville Jaguars just made it possible. Sherrod Khan and the Jacksonville Jaguars just made it possible.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Well, it looks like the pick is in, baby. Oakland's made their decision. I'm not going against the grain. I think they go with Gentry as well. I think that's the way we feel across the board. What about you, Cal?
I'm comfortable with Gentry, and I just wouldn't be surprised with Geno at quarterback, giving him a safe option up the middle with another tight end. Dual threat tight end.
Yeah, and what does Pete Carroll do? He loves play action.
Yep.
That's who's not biting on the number one back coming out of college, and they're liable to feed him.
So it looks like the pick is in. Spin looks like he's going to be getting up because Goodell is making his way to the portal.
Gentry.
Oh, and here you go. Spin's going to go ahead and write it down because the pick is in. And as we expected, Ashton Gentry is making his way to Vegas, baby. Don't spend it all in the casino,
man.
baby. Don't
Come
get
on.
on the dice.
I wonder what the over-under on that was.
Ooh. So, and he said, man, I'm not going to the top. He basically spoke this into existence. He said he was going to be the 6th overall pick, and he is. Elvin Gentry, as CL mentioned, he had great numbers coming out of the backfield catching. We're seeing the type of explosive runner he was, 2,600 yards. This is the second most in FBS history behind Barry Sanders. CL, they got themselves one heck of a running back in Gentry.
You think of the Raiders, and R.I.P. to the great Al Davis.
Yes, indeed.
You think of Art Shield. You think of
John Madden.
John Madden.
Correct.
You think of Gene Upshaw.
Thinking Bo Jackson.
You think of Bo Jackson. You think of Marcus Allen. And I'm going to throw in the LSU. You think of Harvey. You think of Harvey from LSU.
Oh, man. Willie? No.
Harvey, the running back.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
44.
about.
But you think of the black and gold having an attitude, running with an attitude. This young man is so physically dominant that I don't think he gets the credit. You know, they show the long runs and they show the big plays, and yes, he can catch the football, but they rarely show you the 4 to 5 yard run. They rarely show you where he's punishing the defensive back. Mm-hmm. They rarely showing you where he's getting up before the linebacker. You know, and I think if anybody is happy, it's Geno Smith with knowing that he has a running back for the next 5 years, even though he has a 3-year extension. But he knows now for the next 6 months, he could turn around and hand it to somebody that's definitely going to get yards after
That's
catch.
500 extra passing yards for Geno Smith right there.
Right. And that matters because you do have, essentially you have a more compact Alvin Kamara.
Yep.
He can catch out of the backfield. He has the balance. He has the quickness, the speed, that burst of speed that you look for out of your running back. So, you know, this is huge for Oakland, especially a team. They went a new direction across the board, right? A new head coach. That new head coach brought in a new quarterback, and now they have somebody that could basically light it up for them this year.
And you know, and I can hear the naysayers already. I do hear drums in the background, but I can hear naysayers already speaking about the school that he went to. Let me tell you this: in the NIL years, everybody can go anywhere now. I guarantee you, he had a chance to go to a million different schools, but he decided to stay at Boise State.
Why not?
And because he was making the same amount of NIL deal money anyway, so it made no sense for him to leave. I'm telling you, this guy is day one. They're already trying to set up the play action right now in Las Vegas because they're about to run the football.
Well, it looks like the Jets pick is in. So I guess quickly here, what are y'all thinking as far as the Jets go? There's so many different directions. They kind of have their quarterback. Do they go edge rusher just to go with a safe defensive pick? Talk to me, Cal.
Oh man, I think you go. I think you have to go defense. I think you have to go defense, or you go tight end.
Because you do have, and this class is loaded with good tight ends, right? You have Loveland, you have Warner that we were just talking about. You have Mason Taylor.
You can't get first downs. You can't get first downs.
Who you got, man?
I think they go O-line.
Some good old linemen still out there. They have, of course, Marabou still out there. Talk to me, CL.
Well, I'll give us a little flash, gentlemen. No disrespect to Fields. I never felt like he was a top 10 quarterback, top 15 quarterback in this league. I could see Shador Sanders going right here. Aaron Glenn respects Fields, but at the same time, you need competition at every position. If you're better than Shador, beat him out in training camp. I see Shador going to number 6.
Let Justin cook, man.
Tight end, offensive lineman, quarterback. I guess it's my turn, right? They're going defensive end. They're going safe pick defensive end.
Safe pick for sure.
They're going either Williams.
Aaron can't mess it up right now.
They have Georgia on their mind. They're going to go somewhere in Georgia. For all intents and purposes, they signed Justin Fields to a decent deal. They believe in him. Yeah, my computer's a bit slower than spin, so if he just gets up with a shaking his head.
And on some people boards, you know, and we were listening to the brother about the tight end, and possibly we know Tyler Warner's the best tight end. But on some people boards, Colston Loveland from Michigan, number 18, is a better tight end in some people's eyes. So I wouldn't be surprised at a Loveland from Michigan at tight end. Because they do need more weapons. They need to get some kind of attention off of wide receiver, Ohio State.
Wilson. Garrett Wilson. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, CL, you on to something. That's what I'm saying. These are two safe picks. If you feel like you need to go with your offensive guy, by all means, pick one of the tight ends. Flip a coin. All three of them are pretty good. Warner probably has the bit of the edge. Tyler Warner. You could go that. But you could go get an edge rusher. When you are trying to formulate an offense, you have Bryce Hall. He was exceptional last year at the running back position.
Right.
I said Bryce. Shouts out to Bryce. Brees Hall, who lit up my fantasy team last year. Big ups to him. You have him. You have Wilson at the receiver position. Why not going?
I could give you another reason. I mean, think about it. We know Aaron Glenn is the head coach. But we also know that Woody Johnson is the owner of the Jets. Woody has already went through that turmoil with Rodgers. I've seen Woody on the sideline with Sexy Red with a chain on. So he wants to be in that bop, if you will. I could see him going with Shador and them, with the circus, in a good way, not a negative way. Because if anybody can handle the media from New York, it's a Sanders, right?
Absolutely.
You got a point.
I'm sure it's the media is ready to attack that situation because he can deal with it. He's ready to answer the questions.
And like Calvin said, it puts people in the behinds in the stands, and it's New York, you know. So New York needs something to cheer about.
Now, Spence making a good point, and we hadn't talked about this, and this could be a possibility because this guy just popped up behind me. Do they go cornerback Will Johnson?
I don't.
I mean, it's not. I don't think it's the best pick.
No. I think it's still too rich.
Stick to the line, huh?
You go tight end. Aaron Glenn is going to come in there. He has to win.
Right.
This ain't about flash. He needs to make a staple and win. Only way you win is you get first downs. You have a young quarterback who can't get the ball downfield. He makes poor decisions sometimes with progressions. Tight end.
Pick is in, baby. And they went safe. They went offensive line. Talk to me, Spin.
I knew it.
I think CL might actually like this pick.
I like it. Yeah. Yep. That's it. Offensive line.
Second best tackle off the board.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, baby, you got yourself old lineman.
They missed with Brickashaw Ferguson. He ended up going down to Philly and helping them get a ring this last year. They definitely have a day one starter. Not sure if they're gonna switch him to left. All tackles are not all tackles. These top tackles are able to adjust to the other side if need be, or you could keep him at his natural position at right tackle. Depends on what you're doing. But at the end of the day, you need somebody to block. No matter if you believe in Justin Fields or not, you need somebody to block for him, man.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me, Span.
Yes, sir. You need somebody to keep that quarterback upright.
Yeah.
You know, right if it's right or left. You know, and they got picked. They just got picked, so they can. There's a lot of good positions left in this draft. You know, we only in the first round, but Sador's dropping.
Well, we got our next 4 picks up, guys. The Panthers are on the clock. The Saints are on the clock. And we're going to stick around a little bit more with y'all, maybe 2 more picks, and kind of talk about the Saints pick a little bit more. But it's Inside the Trenches. If y'all just tuning into our live, it's your host, Marlon Big Favorite. I'm here with my man, CL NOLA, DJ Spin, and Cal joining us right now. We're talking about the different picks that may come up before they happen. what direction will the Panthers go? Will they go defensive end? I know the kid from Boston College, they've been talking about that a lot. Do you show up, do we see a big run on offensive linemen? Do we see a run on offensive linemen because they do need some more protection for Bryce Young? So, yeah, this is interesting, CL.
Yeah, and as the draft progresses, you'll see runs on positions that are short. Offensive line is one of the positions that is short, especially because there's a drop off. There's a drop off from the top 2 to 3 tackles.
Yeah.
Going down. So if there's a run, I see it happening a little later. We do have the Panthers on the clock right now.
Best player on the board is Jalon Walker from the University of Georgia.
Yeah.
And then next edge they got Mike Green.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a 3. It's Williams, Green, and
then they got McMillan, the wide receiver from Arizona.
do they need another wide receiver in Carolina? To maybe a weapon for Bryce?
You need to protect Bryce in every way possible.
Yeah.
Period.
They spent $100 million on that the guards in the center situation last year. But they do need weapons because I believe Adam Thielen got to be like 41 by now, right? Sorry, Adam. Shouts out to you and your family. Much love, brother.
Yeah.
Now I'm with you. Go ahead, Cal.
You do that. You spend that money because he's so short, right? And so you have to protect the pressure up the middle.
Right.
But he's still not your strongest guy. He's not your fastest guy. So even if he gets to the edge and gets out and rolls the pocket a little bit or shifts his space, he still has to be able to be protected from the edges too, because those defensive ends are coming around 6'6", 6'7", putting arms up. Big old mitts, and so I think you have to give him some type of protection, whether it's in the front end or the back end. You got to give him some protection.
Yeah, I don't see them not going offensive lineman just because of. I mean, think about it, if you do add another weapon on offense, right? You're still in the same position. How you going to get the ball to the weapon? So I think that they do need to show up that offensive line with this first round pick and seeing what stills you can get moving forward, CL.
I'm just not sure of their base defense. I don't know if they need more of an outside linebacker like a Walker or a Williams. Whatever fits for them. But they haven't had any kind of edge or any pressure on the ends since they let Spider-Man go to the Giants, and then they brought on Clowney last year, and we know what Clowney do.
Clowns.
That he do.
The wig and all.
Yes, indeed, baby. Yeah. It's inside the trenches, man. We're here in the war room having ourselves one heck of a time. We definitely will cover y'all for the first 10 picks. Once New Orleans make their 9th pick, we'll do one more pick with you guys. It's definitely been fun. We will have one heck of a show for y'all come Monday because we got to recap all of this, all of the Saints picks. We have to go over some of the shockers in the draft, which I'm pretty sure that they will be. I just hope the shockers aren't at 9, right, which is coming up pretty soon. But I do want to take this time to thank our sponsors, Conquer Sports Pros, where the elite athletes get the competitive edge. Big shots out to, once again, Small Sliders, Marrero. Big thank you to Montero Motors. Also, shouts out to Robert Wolf and Construction over there on that West Bank, baby. Lamarck, Crescent City Ford, my man Sheldon, shouts out to y'all over there. And our new sponsor on board, y'all, Health Nut Systems. Dr. Andrews is coming on board with the steel body. She promised she'll get CL a 6-pack, but he also promised he'll do the jogging for it. But, yeah, the pick is in, y'all. See how I slid that one in there?
Oh, like a dog.
Like a dog.
Coach, I'm taking my pills yet.
Hey, man, I just feel like you have a handful of good offensive linemen still out there. There's the guy from Texas, Kelvin Joseph. Do the Panthers go that direction? There's also Ohio State's offensive lineman. Yeah, Simmons. Talk to me, Cal.
Yeah, look, he's 6'5". Can he see over that guy? Can he dump that ball down? I'm sorry. I just think about it. And look, the pick is in. Let's see what they do. But
I wouldn't be surprised if it's McMillan, the wide receiver. They just need weapons because I couldn't think of another weapon.
Yep.
So you're saying
it
that,
is.
yep, there we go. So they did have to go with another weapon, and they go out to Arizona and get T. McMillan, big body target receiver. Kind of reminds me, not as fast, but kind of reminds me of Michael Evans from Tampa Bay. Just a surefire target.
Hope not.
Right. Hello, somebody,
Hall of
because that is
Famer.
our division.
Hope not.
And the Saints are coming up at 10. I am interested in doing the Chicago pick, so we will run that to you guys. But McMillan, they have themselves a target. I think Calvin had mentioned before, hey, the offensive lineman kind of tall. They might have to stick with a little 6'4" tackle that can move his arms. CL, you like to pick it for? Well, I don't think you love it, but do you at least like it?
I mean, I respect it. I mean,
There you go.
I called it, so I respect it because you can't have Adam Thielen leading your receivers in catches and yards. So you need a big target. Bryce is shorter than my little cousin, so he needs a tall target, a 50-50 ball guy, a third down guy, a guy to look for on third down, because they're definitely going to be doubling Thielen in the slot. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense, and it makes sense.
I think you get a competitor, right? You get a competitor, you get a guy that can play inside, a guy that can play outside, and more importantly, the guy can catch the ball.
Yeah.
Right? And so that gets you out of a lot of trouble. So if you have a dog that can catch the ball, it don't matter if they're fast, slow, it don't matter. They're going to get open, they're going to get space, and they're going to compete. Right?
Yeah.
That's a quarterback's best friend. That's Marcus Colston.
Yeah. 6'4", 215. Yeah, I'm sure his catch radius is larger than mine, so it's a good pick.
All right, y'all. The pick is in for New Orleans.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If it's that fast,
I-
it has to be
that
Super Bowl.
Just that
It gotta
fast. So
be.
hold on. We don't have much time here. Each guy's probably gonna have about 20 seconds before the pick is up. Some of the offensive linemen that fell off the board. We're looking at a team that need a quarterback. They do need an edge rusher. Some is just screaming. They're going after one of them Georgia boys. But since the beginning of this thing, I said Shador Sanders. I'm going to stick with it. CL, you up next. You got 20 seconds. Who are the New Orleans Saints going to pick?
Wish list Shador. We don't have that outside linebacker in that 3-4. Mikael Williams from Georgia.
You see? Spin.
I'm gonna go tight end.
Ooh, that's right. I think Spin might got us, y'all. I'm just sticking to my guns with Shador, but Warner is still out there. Talk to me, Cal. It's tough.
I don't know,
it's
man.
a lot still out there.
I think I don't know if you go quarterback, you have too much invested. As much as
Yeah.
you like Shador, I don't know you have too much invested. I
And
think
he may be there at 40 at this point.
Right.
'Cause-
Yeah.
I would love Warner. I really would.
you go McMillan.
So they're going. So we're thinking Warner. The Saints pick is in. Okay, what they're probably going to do, they're going to go get that tight end. What we would hope they do is go get Shador. What they might do is what they love getting defensive ends.
I think you have to go edge.
Yeah.
I think you go edge. You couldn't get pressure last year
Yeah.
at all.
And this
Yeah.
year, the edge and the pressure from New Orleans is just gonna look different.
We couldn't tackle.
The guys that's gonna get pressure this year, the guys that's gonna create pressure, is just gonna look different this year because instead of the guys that we're used to, the body styles that we've been used to,
Yeah.
those hand in the ground 4-3 defensive ends. I think that's gone for us. I think it's about the outside edge guys. I think it's about having some ass in the middle, some beef in the middle. Excuse me. I think it's just different for New Orleans this year.
You need a guy that's gonna go.
Now, I see that they have the camera on Shador and his family right now. Of course, they're just showing this because this has been talked about a lot.
Right.
We shall see here shortly what they do. Again, my wish list, it would be great to see the Saints draft a quarterback for the first time in the first round in over 40 years.
Since Archie Manning.
Since Archie Manning. So
77.
that would be huge. Yeah. I will say this, if y'all tuning in at home, these guys got the edge on us because their computers are going a bit faster than me and CL's over here. So if you see the look of shock on their face,
even look at
that's
it.
why. He's a bit nervous, so he's just got his tablets in front of him because he don't want to see it. Derek caught career low 15 passes, passing touchdowns. He missed 7 games. I'm assuming that's what they're talking about here on the tube, that this team definitely is desperate need of a quarterback.
Yeah, since 1971, it's saying.
That's what they're saying. So
Yeah.
This conversation is dragging
Here's the war
on.
room.
Give me Shador,
Then-
man. I want.
I want Shador. I
want
think
the
Alvin
quarterback.
Kamara would like Shador. I
want
think Cam would like Shador.
Well, if you want to put butts in seats, no matter how good you think New Orleans is going to be next year, if you want to put butts in seats, you get Shador. If you want to have the #1 selling jersey, you get Shador. If you want to recreate the rival between the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints, you get the product son of the product father of Atlanta, Shador Sanders.
Well, it looks like the pick is in at 9.
Atlanta would be mad.
And it looks
Beyond
like
man.
Spin is about to get up.
6.
The man's at the podium. Oh, I'm looking at Spin face. He don't look happy. And they do it.
Calvin
They do
Banks
it. They
Jr.
went and got Calvin Banks Jr. They needed an offensive tackle. They went best available. One of their needs. I've told you guys. That the Saints were going to get best available for their needs. I told you guys that need was quarterback. That need is offensive tackle. And then we got an offensive tackle. And we also know that they need a receiver. But, hey, they went Calvin Banks. That means Shador is still out there. You still have Loveland still out there. The tight end, you still have Tyler Warren still out there. We go get Calvin Banks Jr. from Texas. He has a balanced pro set. This kid has played in some big games. He's played in some. He had to block for errors and for all intents and purposes. I'm believe it or not, I am not super mad. He's from Humble, Texas, so he's right near the Dallas area. I am not super mad because it was an area of need. They needed to go get an offensive tackle. Now my next question is, what are you going to do with Penning? Where are you going to move him? What are you going to do with Fuaga? Because this boy here is for certainly a tackle. You can't bump him in. Talk to me, Spin.
That's what we said. Emory is available in the second round. You go and you make that. You get the money. You get the money and you get him.
But my question is this, Spin. All right, let's look across their line, right? You have Fuaga, who was your first-round pick last year. He's certified starter. The year before you went Penning.
But he's not a left. He's not a
So,
true
okay,
left.
you move him to the right. Okay, my next question for you. All right, then you go first round and next year with Penning. What you do with him?
You move him inside.
All right, because that's your first rounder. So you move this boy on the outside. All right, you get McCoy back. You have Cesar Ruiz. You got as a competitive role. They need to go get best available quarterback, best available defensive player at this point at 40, unless they're going to use that 40 and try to trade back into the first round.
And y'all said that they might trade back in to get him.
They went got.
Now.
They drafted an offensive tackle 3 years in a row. I'm all ears, Spin. Talk to me.
Like CL said, like you said, like Calvin said, how far does Shador fall? They have been whining and dining, dart. So what is the means of them coming back? Who do we think they're going to get if they're going to get a quarterback?
Here's my thing. Here's my only thing.
Need to get a new GM.
Hello, somebody. It's time to move your body.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Listen, I'll take my glasses off for this one. Chicago pick is in. We'll get to all that, y'all. We'll let y'all know 10, 11, 12. Hopefully, Wes, I don't know when we're ending, right? Because this is weird. Okay. Do I like the guy that they drafted?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
He played in the SEC. He's played top Power 4 football. I like the guy that they picked. I'm not too sure of relevance of the pick, given the fact that you went to North Dakota State University in the first round, one of the picks, but we're just going to leave that what it is, right? We did that. Then last year, I love the decision to bring in Fuaga because he's a certified offensive lineman. But for you, with Shador Sanders, with both of the Williams boys, they gone. They getting snagged up in the first round. Both of them, they will not be there for 40. Surefire edge rushers. Not only do you leave 1, 2, 3 really good tight ends out there, You went got a tackle that wasn't the best tackle in this class. The two best and already came off the board. He is 4 or 5, but here's a situation where I don't know if they're going to trade back NCL. Kel, I don't know if they're going to decide to take 40 and, man, you got to do some stuff with 40. Spin. They went got a tackle. Kel, I'm lost for words.
When was the last time you seen a Saints healthy offensive line?
Super Bowl
2012.
year. Super Bowl year.
They've picked the offensive lineman every year, and every rookie offensive lineman has come in and been hurt at some point. The system is broken. The system is broken. And I have some guys in that organization that I love to death. Some medical guys.
Yeah.
The system is broken. They can't keep these guys healthy. They can't keep them healthy. And then you have a quarterback who makes slow decisions. So that means they have to block longer.
It's frustrating, man.
I've been speechless for probably the past 3 minutes. I've always been a guy that preaches fortify the offensive line. I do want to send respect to the great Ryan Ramczyk for retiring, and I understand that we've had a rotating room at right tackle since Ramczyk was not able to perform for us anymore, respectively retiring because his career was over by that time. His knee was bone on bone, and I definitely understand that. I'm just disappointed because the New Orleans Saints had a chance to make history. The New Orleans Saints had a chance to change the narrative of the New Orleans Saints in a different direction. The New Orleans Saints had a chance to lead SportsCenter for the next 4 or 5 years. New Orleans Saints had a chance to have the top-selling jersey for the next 4 or 5 years. New Orleans Saints had the chance to
That's the first tight end.
do so. Right, Tyler Warren.
No.
Loveland. Yeah, and it was whoever you wanted. But back to the Saints, it's just.
He said whoever you wanted.
Yeah, well, because some people said Loveland was the better tight end. Some people like Warner. I'm still holding out hope for the New Orleans Saints that we'll be able to take the 40th pick and the 71 pick and trade back up in the first and get whatever respected quarterback that they wanted. But I've always preached fortify the offensive line. I do understand Kevin Moore knows that the game is won and lost with the line of scrimmage, obviously coming over from Philly and them dominating the offensive line and the defensive line winning the Super Bowl. The only way I'm not mad at this actual pick is if this young man knows how to do the Saints beignet push.
Beignet push.
Hey,
look, y'all. All right, so I got
the only way I'm not mad, y'all.
I got a few questions. All right, so hypothetically speaking, Will Campbell still sitting there. That's drafting the tackle. You all right with that?
Will Campbell, #1 tackle in football. I mean, in the draft. Yes, I'm okay with that.
You're okay with that, but you're not okay with you would have been okay with the #2 guy. Yes. They would have got Marable.
Yes. Remember, at 9, I needed that impact player on offense. I needed Tyler Warren because immediately Tyler Warren helps you in the run game, the passing game, and he helps you on defense.
Yes, he's a Taysom Hill.
He's a
Taysom Hill. He's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
I mean, with this pick, I'm not gonna be able to answer my phone for the next 2 days. Like, I mean, if you could just look at the text, look at the text. Just look at the text.
Yeah, they're gonna get you, bro.
I have to answer for this. You know,
they coming in.
I have to answer for this.
This pick felt like the last 4 seasons. It felt this whole build up, like, oh, we just might, and then they.
This pick feels like when we passed up on Lamar Jackson, moved up and got Davenport. And I'm giving that boy way more credit.
It's not that bad.
But I'm giving them way, like I said, I'm giving the Saints a chance to come back and get the quarterback that they want, or move back in the first round and make a splash, because we know everybody passed up on Lamar, and then Baltimore moved back up in the first and got. But the Saints passed up on Lamar Jackson.
So it looks like we're going
They
to probably
coming in.
have a run.
Garbage pick. They coming in. They start to roll in.
So we got another garbage pick from San Francisco?
No. Our texts are starting to come in from our Saints fans that we love. Like I've got 2 or 3 of them. What are we doing? Garbage pick.
Jack going off on.
Yep, they going off.
Man, this is crazy. I mean,
So how far do we think Shadora falls now?
I don't see him getting past Pittsburgh at 21.
yeah, he don't get past.
Because they don't want to play the game with Aaron Rodgers, and whenever he decides to get out the dark and make a decision, you can get Shador. You can have him on a 5-year deal. You can even tag him the next 2 years. That's 7 years.
So what do y'all think about Miami? Next pick coming up after Dallas.
I think Miami might go either tight end.
You think they're
cornerback.
You think they're
not going
to?
I think they go DB.
They're gonna probably go Will Johnson. They're gonna either go DB or they're gonna go tight end.
Yeah, they have to make a splash.
Well, I mean, that D line is coming off some injuries.
That's true.
15 blew his knee out. Wilkerson went to the Raiders. I don't see any pressure. And think about it, if you really think about the Miami Dolphins, you think about the head coach. Cool guy, short guy, not really all that tough. The Miami Dolphins need to get tougher.
Do we think Dallas picks him? Come on, this is crazy.
I mean, at this point, that wouldn't be bad for Jerry bought that bread. So to CL's point, I mean, he's gonna fill up your seats.
Well, last weekend I stood next to Dak Prescott, and we had a very, very, very
run that to us.
Yeah, well, we went to support Charles Haley and the Tackling Tomorrow Foundation. Obviously, a lot of former Cowboys. We all decided that to put football aside that day for the greater good of America and literacy moving forward. And as the pictures and the conversations flow, Dak Prescott is born and raised in Louisiana, so we let Louisiana lead our conversation. And I think Dak is very, very solid about his position, obviously being the highest paid quarterback in football at $60 million a year. But, to a man, I don't think he trusts Jerry.
I got to pick. I know where Dallas going if he's still there. I'm sorry, but I want you to go for. They're going Luther and Burden.
Okay, somebody to help out.
Yeah.
Somebody to help out.
Yeah.
Because if you're Missouri, because if old boy was still there, McMillan, they would have probably went McMillan. They need somebody to help.
You know what I think Dallas is going to do? Because once again, they don't have nothing in the middle. You just run all over Dallas. I think they'll go with Nolan from Ole Miss, that D tackle.
That's who I was thinking.
Yeah, big boy in the middle. Because if you want to run against Dallas, you just run straight at them. Parson can only do so much. They need a lead, so Parson can come off the edge. But if they got to just straight up stop somebody from running down the trenches, it's not for them.
What do we think Frisco does?
Frisco is probably going to go either wide receiver or they're going to go defensive player. I don't know if they're going to go.
Go edge interior.
You know what I said? I said I could see Frisco drafting Shador so they don't have to pay Brock Purdy $45 million.
So they might go Jackson daughter Shador, then they may go quarterback.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
It wouldn't catch me off guard.
Yes, you might be on to something with that.
I think Lynch likes football guys, though.
Yeah.
I think he likes true football. He doesn't get his drafts wrong.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. We've let the media go crazy about Shador and all of that. You better believe Shador loves football. You better believe Shador knows football. You better believe his whole life has been about football. And the one thing you better know that he's motivated to prove everybody wrong.
Do you think Brock Purdy has 7 more years of high-level football in him?
I don't think the 49ers have 7 more years of talent to put around him to get that high level of football out of him.
So when you think about Shador coming in, sitting for a year, using Brock as trade bait for somebody next year,
right?
Where Shador can step up and play because he's a leader, he's a football guy, he comes in and he can do everything else that Brock can do plus sell tickets.
But watch this. Shador led the league, led college football in sacks. He was sacked 99 times and only missed one game. What happens to Shador Sanders when you give him one of the top offensive linemen, one of the best offensive tackles in football with Mr. Williams, and a running game with McCaffrey?
Well, they got the pick in. So CL, you're gun hole on them just drafting the quarterback just off the strength of.
Why does anybody feel like Brock Purdy's worth $45 million a year?
No.
And then he's had elbow problems, arm problems.
And what you say, you got Will Howard still out there. You still have Jackson Dart. You still have Shador, which is #1.
The gentleman from Louisville.
I know you're big on
Deion Sanders looked really good in red and gold.
Yeah, he also went there as well. Oh, but they go edge rusher, Mikael Williams.
The best.
They needed to shore it up.
Yeah.
They needed to shore up the edge. I mean, so CL, do we see a run on DNs? You said they got a lot of talented DNs in this class.
Yeah, and would it be with him? We never counted Abdul Carter as a DN. We just counted him as one of the best players coming off this board.
Right.
Now I think the DN situation, edge situation starts, right? Because everybody knows that Mikael was the highest one on the board. And however you see it, whatever respective GM sees it, you might go with Green. You might just keep moving down the board. But this guy is truly an impact player. And if you know anything about the 49ers, they have had a massive exodus because of the cap, because of the money thing. They lost 5 guys off the defense, Greenlaw being one of them, Pro Bowl linebacker. They're also Pro Bowl long-hair safety. His name is running from me right now. The safety, the free safety.
From who? Green?
From 49ers. He had the big long hair, kind of like Palomula. He was their safety for him. He was really good.
Why?
They lost him as well off that defense.
Why I always think I was thinking Fred Warner, but that's a line.
No. Fred is there, but they lost Greenlaw.
Greenlaw. They lost Greenlaw. They lost somebody, yeah. Okay, so where we at right now, CL, Dallas is up, y'all. I need this for my man Wes, because we did say we was going to go to pick 11, but I think we're so ticked off at the same thing. So do y'all want to end on Dallas or Atlanta? Atlanta. Let's just do it. Yeah, let's just do it. So Wes, you can notate that we're out at Atlanta. And that is in, 3 picks? Yes. The Cowboys pick is in.
And I'm curious what the Dolphins and the Colts do, too.
Well, and I know I've been saying his name all night. I thought the Colts was gonna get Loveland. I could see the Colts getting Warner.
Yeah, if he's still there. I'll tell you one thing, boy. If I'm Mason Taylor, I'm over there like Birdman, bro, because with
he's second round. He's
second.
Late
late first,
early second. Yeah, you know it.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was a smart move by San Francisco, going with Williams, because you lose a little bit of your edge rushers. You wasn't as productive last year as the previous years.
So it's wild, and it's hard for me to fathom anything outside of Shador Sanders in the Saints uniform right now. But I'm looking at this thing, and I'm looking at what's coming up. Indy is comfortable in their quarterback. Atlanta has 3 quarterbacks.
Is Indy really comfortable at quarterback?
I think they're comfortable. I think they're comfortable enough to get past.
To build around them, at least, you think?
Yes. And if at worst,
Spin got up. Your offensive lineman from Alabama. Sweet home Alabama. Well, he just got to take a little ride to Dallas.
It plays to. I thought we could get him at 40, so he didn't make it. He is the best guard. Coming off the board. I wanted to replace.
Penny?
No, left guard.
Oh, left guard.
Nick Saliveri. I wanted to give Nick Saliveri some competition at left guard because he's been penciled in as the starting left guard for the past 2 years and haven't given us anything because of injury. So that's why I was up on Tyler Booker. But obviously, the Cowboys felt that he was a better pick than to wait till the second round.
I will say this about Booker. He is probably the most versatile offensive lineman in this draft. He's a kid that can play center, guard, and tackle. With Conquer Sports, we show our players a lot of film and drills. We didn't show this kid go through all. He's worked his tail off to get to this point, and I think the way the draft felt, y'all, it just really worked in his favor. You saw on the television they were showing him and Nick Saban through the years, and
gentlemen, is this the run on offensive lineman? Is this the run?
I think Miami gonna hire in receiver.
Yeah, or DB. They have to.
Cause no DB fell off the board yet.
Will Johnson is the first.
Best available.
Or who's the next available tackle? Is it Emory Jones? Is it? Because
I don't think they got him the best.
Josh Simmons.
Simmons? Okay, because we know Armstead is retiring, is getting out of there.
That's probably what they're going to – that's CL made a good point. They're going to probably go Josh Simmons.
Even though in Miami the right tackle is the more important one because Tua is left-handed, but tackle. Tackle.
Somebody just texted me, what the bleep is wrong with the Saints?
I'm not gonna be able to answer my phone for the next 2 days.
Because the pick just doesn't make it. That's the only thing with New Orleans picks.
Nothing made sense.
Nothing makes sense. And then you try to see something make sense down the line, right? Like, all right, this guy's gonna be good down the line, and it's just not. Marcus Davenport had one good year in the NFL. Bad evaluation. Peyton Turner. He didn't have a good year in the NFL yet. They didn't ship him out of there. You know, Weezy out of here. You know what I'm saying? At this point, it's like, what are we doing? Like, we had an opportunity to go get a high-power weapon at the quarterback position. We could have got one of these dog edge rushers. You know, you couldn't hit with the top. It's like, I don't know,
I believe
man.
the Saints have a chance to move back up in the first to make a splash no matter who else they go get.
I believe that.
I'm just holding faith.
What is what I want you to do, CL? You got to keep on hoping. Keep on wishing.
Why would they do something that starts making sense now?
Right. I ain't gonna lie. The Saints mid-round picks make the best sense in the world. Like Alvin Kamara came from a mid-round pick. Like they do that. But
that second round first pick.
You know what?
Works.
Let's delve in it. What are we doing with Trevor Penny? If we just drafted a tackle, if we're just drafting a tackle in the first round, clearly you expect for him to start. So that bumps Trevor Penny from right tackle. Fuaga stays at left. So you got Fuaga, left guard. I keep Nick Salavari, McCoy, Ruiz, and now you have Banks or Trevor on the tackle. Does this automatically make Trevor our sixth offensive lineman?
Yeah, and so
what does this do? We know we didn't extend his 5th-year deal. I'm sorry, brother. Please go.
No, you know what? Now that we talk about it, it actually makes a little bit of sense because they can't keep anybody healthy. Right. So why not?
Well, we didn't extend his 5th-year deal, so this is quintessentially his last year. But we could have re-signed him if he. So what happens if he plays
40.
good?
You pick at 40. There's going to be a worthy. I'm sorry.
Yep.
You pick at 40. There's going to be a worthy offensive lineman at 40. If you don't get Will Campbell, if you don't get Marabou, go get the best available playmaker, game changer. Let's talk through the sport. The defensive end position. Williams can go out there and get 4-5 sacks for you. The D-line won the Super Bowl for Philadelphia. Like, single-handedly, the D-line. That's a playmaker. This kid, Warner, could catch from any position. He caught from the slot, from Z, from X. The whole I know you watched the tape because you were in the room. Yes, and he lined them up at quarterback. You get a younger Taysom Hill, somebody that changes the narrative for you on your offense. Shador Sanders was just sitting there waving. You got these receivers saying, I'm not even mad if you don't go wide receiver. If you're not gonna get the best offensive lineman in the draft at 9, wait to 40. He gonna be sitting there. It's not that big of a difference. It's not a huge difference between Will Campbell and Emory Jones. I watched them for 3 years straight, every game, play for play at LSU Sports Radio. So this ain't no game. Stop doing this to the people.
Considering we live in New Orleans and so do they, they should have watched Emory Jones.
And they have
After
12
that play.
people. They have 12 people above Emory right now. In tackle. That's just in
I see
in
what
tackles.
Spin's looking at.
That
Yeah.
is just in tackles. So
Yeah.
go back to what y'all was saying. You take the best available.
But that's what I'm saying. Spin.
We've had the Bush rods. We have the people that are in the mid, like you said, mid-round drafts that can pop up and plug and play.
If this guy is not a day one starter, mauler, dancing bear, I'm just.
Well, I'm sorry, CL. I've seen him already. I've seen him sometimes for the LSU games. I watch like the Florida game. We've seen him. I watched him when Ohio State. I've seen him. He is good. He's not mid. He is a good. He is a top 4 in this year's draft lineman. Cal.
Yeah.
Well,
It's hard, man.
Yeah.
The Saints keep you speechless, man. It's impossible to get it wrong this much all the time. At the end of the day, we haven't been able to put pressure on the quarterback with our front 4 in 20 years.
We can't tackle.
I don't much want to go on my Twitter.
I mean,
on my phone.
it drives me crazy because last year we dealt with injuries on the offensive line. But the two things that remained the same was your left tackle and your right tackle. No matter how you felt about Penny, he did his thing at right tackle. I don't see why, and I understand not extending him. I mean, understand not exercising the 5th-year option because he haven't lived up to that $16 million that it would have cost to keep him on that.
Right.
So, but you could have still turned around and re-signed him for the appropriate amount of money for him to come back. So, like I say, if Banks is not a day one starter, dancing bear, next 10 years, book in tackle,
No, the picks in now. We got a pick in for Miami, and with Kenny Grant, D tackle. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah,
you know,
because
it's a makes sense pick.
Wilkerson left and went to the Raiders. They needed to get more stout.
Oh, down one.
They needed to get.
No, we just missed 13.
Yeah, they needed to get more stout in the
Oh, no,
middle.
we didn't. You're right. I'm sorry, CL. We're listening. Go ahead.
When you, like I say, when you think about the Dolphins are not a very tough team. The Dolphins, a lot of times teams takes the personality of their coach. Yeah. Their coach is he's a smart guy. He's just they don't exude
Slap you in the face.
masculinity, extra masculinity, toxic masculinity, if you will.
I want to play the I see.
So
I see exactly. what you're saying.
you need some nasty in the middle.
And there's a big boy. He's very stout versus the run.
Right.
You need somebody in the middle to show you up, and that way your ends can roll. But I want to go ahead, my bad.
You need somebody to tackle Josh Allen or Cook when they come straight up that middle in south of Miami. Yes.
I want to play a little game with y'all. Where does the quarterback go? Now that the teams that has passed us thus far that really needed quarterbacks, Indy don't need a quarterback. Atlanta don't need a quarterback.
Arizona
don't need a quarterback. They can. Well, Kyler Murray kind of.
It's time to go.
46 million a year.
So Arizona could possibly. The pick is in for Indy. We about to get to that in a second. But more than likely, I'm always 100% agree with you. You still have Cincinnati. They don't need a quarterback. Seattle, do they need a quarterback?
No, they just signed Darnold to that. That was the biggest free agent quarterback signing.
10-4. Seattle don't need a quarterback. Tampa Bay don't need a quarterback. Denver don't need a quarterback. So we may see a quarterback fall off at Arizona or Pittsburgh in these next few picks.
I can see Pittsburgh. I can almost see Pittsburgh moving up.
Chargers don't need a quarterback. Green Bay don't need a quarterback. Minnesota could use a quarterback.
Minnesota could definitely use a quarterback. But you couldn't see. They want to give J.J. that chance, and I couldn't see them getting another younger quarterback than J.J. to come. I could actually see Kirk Cousins going back to Minnesota to kind of hold a place until J.J. is 100% healthy.
We good?
I like the Rams.
Stafford and I are the same age.
Wow.
That's right. He has about another year in him. You're saying?
Why not put why not put him on the coast?
Right.
Why not put him in Hollywood.
Because for the most part, at this late
Good
in
point.
the draft, it's okay for him not to play that first year.
It's okay.
That was my issue at 9 if we got him and didn't play him in his first year. So I don't mind, and obviously we in this. Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah, we in this. To me,
What's
this is the
yeah,
second
what you
round.
right about?
Yeah, because he don't have to play this. Oh, Tyler Warren.
There you go. Look. Yeah.
I thought they were gonna get Loveland, but it just depends on which tight end.
Well,
that they
Loveland
like.
was off the board, and,
Yeah.
and this is a solid pick, y'all.
That's what you do when you have a young quarterback, right?
Yeah.
You give him a safety valve.
Look at this boy.
While y'all
Best-
watching these highlights, this the dude I wanted for the Saints.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Look at these highlights.
Yeah, because
He
you
was
have
a
a safe
one-man
blanket.
wrecking game for Penn State's offense. You name me another offensive player on Penn State.
He can block.
Can he block? He blocking him out the end zone.
He almost beat us by himself.
Good move.
Come on, man.
He looks like he'll match out there good in Indy. He dresses. He's already dressed for the occasion out there in Indy.
Immediately improves your running game. Immediately improves your passing game. You get tougher at the point of attack.
But
It looked like he was in the Republican National Convention just now, sitting in his house.
He can play every position on offense, and I've seen him throw the football.
Yeah, it was a bad move by us. Cause here's my thing, and I say the same thing all the time. And this isn't a diss song. This is a real song, right? That tackle gonna be there at 40. Yeah. A worthy tackle is gonna be there at 40. I wouldn't be surprised if Calvin Banks was sitting there at 40. You don't. Why do we keep doing this? All of New Orleans picks are sitting there in the second or third round, mismatched throughout the past 10 years.
Tyler Warren is athletically Taysom Hill, and at the tight end position, he's Dallas Clark.
CL's hurting
Like,
right now. He's mad, as a lot of y'all are, that this dude made it to 14. He made it to 14. You had 9.
And I got to sit there and watch Atlanta make a pick for Green, the D lineman, since they passed up on Verse last year. They finally get their edge rusher. They finally get somebody to come after the quarterback. Because if they don't do it this time,
He going Georgia.
You said that.
Yeah.
You said that. See,
Yeah. Atlanta's going to make the right. Atlanta's going to make the right decision. I mean, I know last year they had a big splash getting Penning, which didn't Kirk Warren end up getting. I mean, Kirk Cousins get hurt.
well, and we knew that it was stupid to sign Kirk Cousins to a $180 million deal, 36 years old, coming off of ACL. They got Penix. Didn't think Penix would actually play, but Atlanta had Kirk play long enough just so he got knocked him out the playoffs, which was beautiful to watch. Don't get me wrong, but you have something going forward with Penix. The problem is they can't stop a lemon pepper wing.
The last 3 first-round picks for Atlanta have been what?
Offense.
Penix,
Offense.
a running back from Texas.
Yeah, your boy Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson, BJ.
Bijan,
Baji.
yeah. So you
Bijan.
have they're hitting the draft, and they're gonna go again. They're gonna go again. They went and Pitts was right before that, right?
That's what it was. That's the year it was.
And I
missing.
think they're going to give Pitts another chance because now he has Penix. He
Right.
doesn't. It's not. But I just think he's a bust personally.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, Atlanta more than likely might go on defense. I don't know if they go Will Johnson cornerback because this is what I'm thinking. They offense straight. They got old boy, the running back.
They have
got
a top 7
That's
offensive
right.
line.
Yeah, 2 running backs.
And that's the thing with Atlanta.
And they got
Atlanta would be so much better if they led with 25. If they let 25 run the football and sparingly use Baji.
London.
But
I'm
the
sorry.
year before that, they got mad because they were sparingly using London, and they were sparingly using Baji and running 25. Now they're wasting the tread off of 25 because now Baji gets all the touches, and they're not a forceful run team.
Right.
They're explosive in their run game, but that run game doesn't matter if they're down by 2 scores.
That's what it was. So 2020, AJ Terrell, and then 21.
Overrated.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 'Cause Jamar Chase did him in.
Overrated.
They went Kyle Pitts. They went.
Bus.
What about Drake London?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. All right.
I like Drake.
Yeah. But what about Robinson?
Oh, come on. Special. He's
Yeah,
special.
special.
dog.
You get it right 3 years in a row, right?
special.
You
I
just
can't
got to
hate
put
on
your
him. He's
finishing
special.
touches right now,
Yeah, he's special.
and it's going it's gonna hurt like hell, but they're playing to beat us.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
They're picking to beat us. They beat us in the running game, right? They beating us at the second level with the tight end.
Yep.
They have a quarterback that can move and that can go over the top. What's our worst play? What's our worst defensive? It's the one that's kicked us out of every freaking playoff game in the world.
Good point.
And I could be real with Atlanta. Atlanta know they ain't gonna win the Super Bowl this year. But as long as they long as they tie or beat us, then that's good enough for them.
Man, they make more money off our game than they make all
Oh,
year
for
long.
sure. And I understand the rivalry, and I understand what transpires in this rivalry. But it's almost the same for us. If we're not gonna win the Super Bowl, we damn sure better beat Atlanta, or at least tie. At the least tie.
Both times.
Right. Beat Dallas, tie with Atlanta. We all right.
It's Inside the Trenches, baby. It's your host, Marlon Big Favorite, and we are in the War Room live here at Loyola University. Shouts out to our production team, UP in the building, Wes hanging in there. Wes, he fall asleep on the draft after that Saints that made that pick. Hannah, I think Hannah's still hanging in there with us, huh? Shouts out to the crew in here and our panel, great panel tonight, doing an excellent job. CL, NOLA, as y'all know, DJ Spin, and my man Calvin. So we got one more pick for y'all tonight as they're showing Arthur Blanks in his Atlanta colored suit here on television. We're going to look at the Atlanta pick, give our takes on it, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about New Orleans.
Walker, Johnson.
And so Spin's going through some of the best available that's still there. What you say, CL?
Arthur Blank don't even eat lemon pepper wings.
He don't rock down the lemon pepper wings. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he cool. The food. This is one thing about Atlanta. I gotta
they got
give
the
him
lowest
props. You
prices
gotta
in the
give-
stadium.
In the stadium,
Yeah, 'cause they got
you
the
can go
lowest
to
seats in the
Atlanta with
stadium.
$20 and get full at one of their games. You won't get a drink here in New Orleans with $20.
How many people
The pig's in. Talk to me.
How many people
Don't
you
say
think
that.
in
What
the
you got there?
studio of Atlanta against Carolina?
What we got here? Oh, no, they didn't.
Man.
The Atlanta Falcons made history by not only drafting the daddy.
Let's see.
Hold on. Let me see. The pick is in.
Let's see.
Spin Winfield it in already because he saw something we didn't see. Hold on.
See if my eyes was.
Now his eyes might have been tripping.
I hope.
Whole wind jumped the
hope
gun.
so.
That wouldn't make no
Boy,
sense.
that would. I
would
think
make
CL
no
is going to
sense.
get up
Look.
if
That
Spin
wouldn't
is
make no
right.
sense.
It makes-
We calling this. If that wouldn't make any sense, but sometimes making no sense makes sense.
Because they still got to trade Kirk Cousins.
They're going to trade two quarterbacks. If it was Spin fielding and with Spin, I hope your contacts got some dirt in your eyes.
But I thought I
They
saw
got to
it.
go
You
with
might have
Mike
saw
Green.
something.
They got to
I
go
saw
with
it.
D. They
Ball
gotta
about
go
to
with
say,
DN.
no,
I
they
think-
didn't.
I think they win.
No,
I
they
think-
won't go 2 years in a row making
gotta
weird
go DN.
decisions.
They got to go DN because Kirk
They gotta
Cousins is
go.
a $180 million
That was
backup.
funny. Let's see.
Kirk Cousins would have been a $180 million backup.
Now you got me
Magic
thinking
City
where he
gonna
going.
be
He
crazy.
definitely,
Should do it
Oh,
go.
my Lord.
he definitely going to Pittsburgh if
In the year of my Lord 2025, Lord, please.
Jesus
Don't
do
do
it. CL would leave. Look at Blank. Arthur Blank smile. He on the phone with somebody. Who he on the phone with? Look at Terry. He's shaking hands. It might have been a spite pick, right?
man,
What if they did this pick out of spite? Let's see what they go. Terry hugging.
Everything out of spite.
They
might
hugging
be-
up, boy. Look at him in there.
I'm going to walk out this room out of spite for Atlanta.
Boy, if Spin, I hope Spin is tripping. If Spin ain't tripping, y'all, boy, this is the biggest.
Hey man, look.
I mean, they had to have got on the phone with somebody talking trades.
Well, yeah, because Kirk got to go first.
Kirk got to go.
180 million.
But the thing is,
I know who they
nobody's
not
going to
trading
take on that because now Kurt is 1 year older. So now Kurt is 37 coming off that, and he's still healing off that ACL. Who's going to take that $100 million contract? Because when you trade the player, you also trade the
They
contract.
cannot go quarterback. They're going defensive player because
They
their
gotta-
offense
Mike
loaded.
Green. They got to go Mike Green.
They're going Will Johnson.
And
They got to go cornerback Will
Arthur
Johnson.
blank check. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, they went.
Pick is
Oh,
in.
whew.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jalen Walker. Yeah. CL nailed that. Didn't you say that? Yeah.
Makes sense.
That makes
home.
sense.
Stay
Well,
home.
y'all, that does it for us tonight. We took it another 5 picks. We're just going to go to 10. We took it another 5. Once again, a big thank you to all of our sponsors for supporting this show If it isn't for the sponsors, we don't have a show. So big ups to Small Sliders, Morero. Y'all make sure y'all check them out here soon. They'll be back running soon. They had some technical difficulties at a fire over there, but they'll be back. If you're looking for a nice used car to get around town or even go out of town with, my man Alberto got it on lock over there at Montero Motors, MonteroMotors.com. Look at his selections. Last time I checked, I think he said they got some Silverados on the road, baby. Shouts out to Robert Wolf in Construction and Real Estate, 143 Lapelco Boulevard. Robert and those guys over there are running some really nice deals on house elevations. So if you live in the Bayou area, you know, these storms coming through, you need something nice and sturdy, get with my folks over there at Robert Wolf Construction. Now, there's tons of projects going on in the region, from Alabama to Louisiana. You know, you got new plants being built. These folks, y'all can't be pulling up in a busted contractor vehicle. Holla at my man, fleet manager Shelton Jordan over there at Crescent City Lamarck. Baby, that's right, Crescent City Lamarck Ford. You can call him at 504-734-3579 and let them know that you heard about them right here on Inside the Trenches. And last but certainly not least, we want to thank our new sponsor for coming on board, Health Nut System. Shouts out to Dr. Andrus. Her and her husband are putting together really nice natural products for those who trying to look sexy for the summer, stillbody.org. So, man, guys, I guess in conclusion here, let's just go ahead and talk about this number 9 pick by the Saints. They did go to offensive tackle. I can't really complain a lot because I was not only on this show, but I've talked to several people throughout the week, as I'm sure most of y'all did, and you start thinking 3 areas of need. What are their top 3 needs? Quarterback popped up. Of course, edge rusher popped up, and offensive tackle did pop up. Ryan Ramczyk did get injured, right, and he retired. It was an area of need. Now, we're a bit confused over here, and I know some of our viewers are, just for the simple fact of, hey, didn't you just draft a tackle the year before last? And you drafted a tackle last year? Oh, you got an opportunity to bump one of them in and get best available. You get third, fourth available. And we're all not happy about this because of the amount of talent that was sitting on this board. Probably the person that is probably the least excited right now is the guy that got the glasses on, so y'all can't really see his emotions through his eyes. CL, number 9 pick. Be transparent. How you feel?
Now y'all know why I wear sunglasses. So, but no, as I sit back in my GM seat and I think about it, I'm becoming more okay with it because now we have a guy to block Mr. Walker that'll be starting for the Atlanta Falcons on the outside.
So, he blocked him already too.
Exactly. So we have somebody to nullify that Falcon situation on the edge, but I am disappointed because we did have in that moment at 9 we had a chance to make history, but I'm still hoping that the New Orleans Saints use the 40th pick, the 71st pick to come back up in the end of the first round to select that player that we all thinks deserves to be in the black and gold. I don't see him getting past 21 for Pittsburgh, but stranger things have happened. It's going to take me a little while because I can still see the Tyler Warren highlights in my head.
What was happening right now, Spin, before we get to you, see, I'm not going to sleep before the pick 32, so when we leave here, the sun going to be up a little minute. Talk to me, Spin. How you feel, baby?
I mean, it definitely was need, but I'm on agreement with CL. We needed that impact player, if Sador sat, I'm fine with that. If he didn't, I'm not, like I said, Tyler Warren, he's that Swiss Army knife. He's that weapon that you needed. Either one of those 2 picks, Will Campbell was my top pick. Mm-hmm. You knew that from the get-go. So if we didn't get Will, we needed an impact. We needed to put, fans in the stands and let Kellen Moore figure out the direction, that he needs, because doesn't look like Carr's going to play, so you got to put Spencer Rattler in, is he your man? If Shador sits behind him and learns the system or whatever, I'm fine with that. We have enough offensive linemen that we can get in the draft. We have enough picks to make impact on to solidify that right now until we figure out what we're going to do in the next 2 years.
Well, new to our panel today, Mr. Kelvin Smith joined us and gave us a great analyzer. He was a bit dismantled like a couple of us. We were all lost for words. But Kel, appreciate you for joining us today, man. Give us your thoughts on Pick 9.
Absolutely, man. It's been a pleasure, and it's my first time, so I'm enjoying it. I never thought,
Thank you for coming, man.
Yeah, man. I sat down and I thought about. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words for a lot of reasons, right? But I'm just gonna go in a different direction, man. I just feel terrible for my guy Alvin Kamara. I feel terrible for that guy. I feel terrible for Cam Jordan. These guys have bust their tails year after year if they stayed healthy. They've come in and played. They show up as much as they can just to get let down in the offseason by your front office. And it sucks because I hate that we're going to end up not getting to see these guys celebrate the spoils of winning, and it sucks. So, I hate that for those guys because I think, they're not being put in a position to be successful, and I want to see them win, and I think they deserve it. I think we deserve it, as a community, I feel poverty stricken right now because I feel like there's just no hope. I feel like I just we'll never get out of this thing.
I want to make a comment real quick. Throughout the years in the NFL, really my time here with New Orleans, I ran across a good friend, man, a good friend of the family, really showed me and my family love, Chef Gason. He was Reggie Bush's private chef, so on and so forth. He done some stuff with me and Mike McKenzie. I've been knowing his little daughter since she was young, and now she's grown up. Talk to me.
Shout out Lil Mike.
Shout out Lil Mike, that's right. Shouts out to Lil Mike. And now I see Chef's daughter is grown up, CL. You see that, right? Yeah. Well, her boyfriend is Walter Nolan. I had to send Walter a video of him being picked, and he's I didn't know this. He's a big fan of me and Glenn and all of us. So I had to send him like a little video to Chef. So they're all in there clowning right now. That's Chef's daughter right there. I remember she's a little one running around, so congratulations to that young man.
Well, Walter Nolan is known for being inside the trenches. He's a big guy, definitely a space eater, keep the linebackers clean. But I second your motion, brother. It's just, and like I said, we still have a chance to make that splash. I just think that this was the chance for just New Orleans to just, whatever the culture was, whatever the momentum was, whatever the mojo was, this was our chance to change it and be a part of that positive conversation. Now,
what was the slogan? The slogan was "Believe," right?
Yeah,
it was "Believe" for a while, right?
Believe.
I believe, right?
I believe.
Come on, give us something to believe in.
Well, I believe in y'all out there, and I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in to our draft show. So a round of applause for y'all for sticking with us. Once again, big ups to our production team over here at Loyola for staying up with us. Shouts out to Lil Spin over there. Hey, how you doing? For joining us. CL, DJ Spin, my man Kelvin for UP, for Damian. Damian's out. Damian and Tyler. I know Tyler said he had a little hot day that 8 or something like that. Hello. Damian not feeling well. That's right. Y'all got to check out his new single. For sure. Hannah for hanging in with us. Hey, y'all, DJ Spin, shouts out to him and his crew for coming through with all the refreshments, man. Kept us fed on the set. Once again, big ups to all our sponsors. So we will be back Monday at 6:30. We're gonna go back. We might go back to our other studio because we got to get out the war room. I think if we come back in this war room within this month, CL might might spaz out on us because of the decision his team made.
All I know is when I pass the room, I'ma just look and just
Fave, can I leave us on this? Can we go back to the Reggie Bush? That feeling when we got Reggie. That's what I want to feel again. That's all I've been wanting since that moment that brought us back as a community. All of us.
Right.
Yeah.
We all been friends for a long time.
That's right.
And us just talking about that, going back to after Katrina and that impact that Reggie just had, even if Reggie doesn't know it, I'm good friends with Reggie, just like you. And I tell him all the time, man, I thank you. I thank you for what you brought to the city, and you just being friends with all of us, and just taking the time to really enjoy us and bring that culture back to New Orleans, because 3 hours a day, we forget about the world and we watch what we love.
Real.
And that's where I think the Saints need to get back to.
Yeah, I mean,
I definitely second that because, we know Reggie was a talent. But think about it, Reggie didn't even score until like week 6. But it's the energy, it's the belief. I second that, brother. Yeah.
Well, we do believe, baby. We do believe. We want to have that feeling come back, and hopefully that can happen. Like if CL said, we could take that first third pick with 71 and 40 and try to trade back in to make the belief come through. Shador might still be sitting there trying to talk to the Steelers. Well, we will definitely
40 and 71, trade back up, jump in front of
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Y'all catch it. Y'all gotta catch this.
Jump in front of Pittsburgh at 20. Come back get Shador.
He did his best. His best Kenny Smith.
Miss Benson, please.
And then look who had and go back. Look who he has to trade to get to that 20th spot.
Miss Benson, please.
The Broncos, Sean Payton.
Oh,
The one person that would do it for us.
The only person.
Yeah,
He don't need a quarterback.
It's a scenario. It's a
that's right.
perfect scenario.
That's a
Miss
good
Benson,
point.
please.
That's a good point. It's like an IU for getting me out there. Well, look, we don't want to leave y'all.
Mickey ain't answering my phone call.
We really don't want to leave y'all, but I know our production team got to shut it down. So for all the love here at Inside the Trenches, go Saints, go Inside the Trenches, go Loyola, baby. It's Inside the Trenches.
Shout out
We'll
New
be
Orleans.
back Monday again, 6:30 p.m. on ESPN Baton Rouge Live Channel. Peace is Inside the Trenches. We out, baby.
I believe.
Hello, somebody. This is Robert Wolf. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolf Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got a great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing, all Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamar Crescent City Ford. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamar Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamar Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.